Welcome everyone to today's webinar. We're going to give folks a chance to log in and get started in about 2 minutes. Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on Mastering the Art of Social Media for Live Events in Business, presented by ILEA DC and D. Muller of DCM Communications. I'm Michael Radolinski, Principal Event Planner at Michael Henry Events Creative, a full-service event design and planning firm between New York and DC, and CEO of FetPhone, the audio guest book, a rental service that lets guests listen to and record audio messages using stylish vintage telephones. I'm also on the board of directors for ILEA DC, the Greater Washington, DC chapter of the International Live Events Association, which is the principal international association representing live event professionals throughout the world. We offer resources, educational opportunities, and most importantly, a broad global network that will help develop your team, grow your business, and build the relationships that will propel your careers and events to the next level of success. Our presenter today, Channing Muller, has more than 15 years experience in events, marketing, advertising, and communications. She's the principal and founder of DCM Communications, a marketing consulting agency specializing in the live events industry. DCM Communications helps clients increase their brand awareness and revenue through targeted marketing strategies, all of which include social media. Channing has personally helped both my businesses in their social media strategies, so I'll know she'll have lots of great tips to share with us today. If you have any questions during today's presentation, please click the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen at any time and ask your question there. We'll leave time at the end to address as many of them as we can. You can also use the Q&A feature to let us know if you're experiencing technical difficulties during today's presentation. And with those housekeeping matters out of the way, I'll turn it over to Channing to get us started.
Great. Thanks so much, Michael. And welcome, everybody. I'm so glad to have all of you participating today and sign up. I've got a crazy amount of info to share with you, a lot of actual actionable tips that you'll be able to walk away with and start promoting both your business and your events a little bit more effectively on social media. So with that, we'll move straight into the presentation here. So first of all, a quick review of who I am and why you should care about anything I have to say today. As Michael mentioned, I have been working in the events industry for over 15 years, as well as working in marketing and editorial for magazines, print, and digital. I do have a BS in communications from the University of Miami. Very proud of my 10-1 team right now. And I served in a top editorial position at BizBash, both in Miami, covering the entire state of Florida at the time, as well as in Washington, D.C. as a contributing editor, which is how I got to know very many of you. I've also designed, managed, and executed more than 300 digital ad campaigns across 12 e-newsletters, all at the same time. Event, both design, advertising, and execution are things that are really important to me. I wanted to see how people could get better results rather from their ads. So I helped from the very beginning to the very end. I also have worked in international marketing in more than 9 different countries, and that includes many upon many website rebrands, as well as lead generation and content creation. And currently I manage more than 15 social media handles across Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So that being said, there are a lot of different social media platforms, right? There are so many different options and everybody has kind of the same questions, right? Which is, which one should I be using? It is not realistic that you will be using every single one of them. And quite frankly, you don't need to. So today I'm going to walk you through kind of the highlights of why it is that users go to each one of these platforms and how you can better leverage them as an event professional. Starting with Facebook. The biggest purpose for Facebook is to help foster relationships. Okay, this is the way that people stay in touch. You don't get to normally see each other, or those who you've just met at networking events can become Facebook friends, and you get to know each other without always having that in-person opportunity. Facebook for Business in particular can utilize business pages to be a mini website for your company, right? Whether you are rebranding your business or you're in the process of creating a website, Facebook is a really great way to showcase, in the meantime, until you get that going, this is what we do, this is how we do it, okay? It is also a great way to source recommendations from friends and family. That is from a professional standpoint of companies and other vendors that you can be using. But of course, a lot of people also go there looking for doctors or restaurants or places to go. So a few ways that you should be using Facebook for the events professional. First of all is, like I mentioned, once that website is up, use the traffic that you have developed and the audience that you've developed on Facebook to drive those people to your website, okay? It can serve as a stand-in for your website while you're in the process of creating it, but it should really be a way to create a community and is just an add-on to an already existing website where they're going to learn more information about your specific services. Video is key for this, right? Whether you do a live video or you do pre-recorded videos, people want to see who you are, right? That's you as a person, that's you as a team, that's you as a brand, right? Logos are beautiful, and I know I spend a lot of time creating them for my clients, and I want them to be gorgeous. But a logo is not why somebody decides to do business, okay? A logo brings them in. They decide to do business with that company because of the people. So they want to know who you are. You need to humanize that brand. Facebook is a really easy way to do that. Videos. If you like being on the spot, then a live video is perfect, right? I have found many of times in my own career that pre-recorded videos take me 12 takes sometimes to get exactly what I want to say. But when you tell me directly, okay, you've got to cover these 5 points and go, it'll be seamless, right? And there's a level of authenticity that comes with these live videos. It gives people a chance to see in that moment what's happening, whether that is before your event, giving them a tour of the setup, what are the decor details, how have your sponsors been involved with it, or during the entire load-in process, or simply a day of choosing linens or meeting with clients. In this industry, people really do want to see how the sausage is made. And quite frankly, if they're able to do that, that also helps solidify and kind of reaffirm why it is that you're charging the prices that you are, right? And we're not going to get into the detail of that, but you need to make sure that you are showcasing to them why it is that you're providing this awesome value, and video and then photos of your event give you that opportunity. It is also an amazing way to sell event tickets. So event marketing is something that more people are kind of learning about at this point, right? We've always known that we can get awareness out there about an event, but you really want to be able to get conversions. Facebook lets you create events themselves, right? For your Facebook page. You can tie them back to a business page. You can host them on your personal Facebook. The really great thing that Facebook offers, though, is the targeting, okay? Yes, the algorithm has changed in the fact that Facebook is trying to earn more money by getting more people to boost your individual posts in order to get that additional visibility. Otherwise, quite frankly, organic post reach is kind of in the toilet for a lot of people, okay? So don't be worried if your Facebook page and every post is not getting the reach that it used to, right? Unfortunately, this is something that Facebook has found as a way to make money, but it's also something that you can capitalize on, because while they are asking people to spend money with them in order to get an even bigger reach, they're also providing the back-end capabilities for you to get really, really specific on who it is that you want to reach. You can target people down to the title that they have, right? Are they the director of catering? Are they the owner of a venue? You can also tie them back to their lifestyle and what's happened. Have they been engaged in the past 6 months? Did they get engaged in the past 9 months? Yes, these things are predicated on the amount of information that somebody puts in their Facebook profile, but you can get a lot of that information when you do this targeting, Okay, so not only do you get an opportunity to promote your event to the existing network of followers that you've created for your Facebook page, but you're also able to get an even broader audience by geography, by their interests, right? By the title that they hold at their company, by the type of company they work for, by the life events that they have shared. Okay, and this is something where you've got tens to hundreds of thousands of people that share all of this information. Even if you don't share it publicly, that doesn't mean that there are not tens of thousands of people that do. Okay, and right there, that's an opportunity for you to put anywhere from $10 to $50 to $100 behind a promotion to get immediately in front of the people that you want. Organic growth is great, but at the same time, if you could cut to the front of the line and get the same or a better result, wouldn't you want to do that? Facebook ads and really targeted ads let you do that. Okay, so this is what I mentioned here. Right here, you'll see on the left, there is a Facebook business page, right? Yes, I did happen to choose the B2E Launchpad, which I know y'all have received plenty of emails about. We don't have a website at the moment, right? But this page is serving as our website. It tells you everything you need to know about not only the organization of the B2E event workshops, it also tells you about the event. You can see at the bottom there that there is an upcoming event that is listed. So I created a separate event page to invite specific people that I knew would be interested, right? You don't want to invite every single friend that you have on Facebook to your Facebook events, because after a while, they may get tired of you. What you do want to do is invite those who are the highest concentration of being able to convert, right? They're the ones that are the highest ones who are going to actually buy a ticket or take an action on that page. You'll also notice over here on the right, this screen shows what an ad setup looks like on the Instagram or on the ad side, okay? There's a really awesome new feature down here that you can actually create split tests. So what this does is allows you to choose by the content, by the image that you use, right? Or by the link that you're providing, what is the most successful type of ad, right? So you can put two different images, the exact same copy, send it out to the same audience, and over a period of time that you can set within the parameters, you will be able to determine, okay, which one is actually getting more traction. Then the winner is the one that you continue putting money behind going forwards, right? Previously, you had to do these tests just as individual campaigns running at the same time, spending twice as much money. Now you're getting more insights. The capabilities are there. Take advantage of them, right? If you're going to spend money, spend it in a way that you can track it. So my top tips for Facebook are, number one, get involved with Facebook groups. Okay, these are really, really amazing places for you to not only get to know each other, to make new connections, to also do market research, right? If you want to help establish yourself as a thought leader, go into these Facebook groups and offer some free advice, right? Offer information. What you put out there really is what you're going to get back. I'm not necessarily saying that you should reveal every single one of your trade secrets, but the more information that you give away to people, the more they will see the value that you bring to the table, and then they're going to be more interested in paying that premium price you're charging. Testimonials and reviews. A lot of people get very uncomfortable asking their past clients to provide either of these, okay? But you'd be surprised the number of times that everybody you've worked with, if you really like them and they really liked what you've done, obviously you're not going to ask someone who's not necessarily over the moon thrilled, but ask other people to provide their reviews for you. You know, this ties back to when it gets those recommendations that people are looking for on Facebook. The more reviews that you have and the more testimonials from those who have worked with you, that's going to help add up into their decision-making process, right? Statistics show that someone has to make an average of 12 touches with a brand before they convert. That can be 12 different social posts. It can be 12 emails. It can be a mixture of all of the different marketing avenues, right? It can also be the opinions of strangers. 12 strangers can convert someone into making a purchase, right? Because it shows consistency in the delivery of what that company is offering. The reviews and testimonials you have on your Facebook page will help boost that. And then finally, get specific with your ads, right? Both in the targeting as well as the design. Take advantage of those split tests. More people that you're reaching does not necessarily mean that it's a better setup for your ad. It's better to have a smaller amount and focus on those who are of a higher chance of converting than spending your money on clicks from a bunch of people who may be outside of the city. If you don't work outside of DC, that's not really beneficial for you, right? Or those that are moms planning small birthday parties. Well, if you're a planner or a vendor that's price starts at least $15,000, chances are they're not your target audience. Okay, so the more that you can zoom in on it, the better you're going to be and really be able to track that ROI from your spend with Facebook. Instagram. This is one of my favorite social platforms, and I have a lot of accounts. I am constantly switching between here. But why is it that people go, right? I think a lot of this is probably pretty obvious to most of you, because if you don't have an Instagram account, I would be quite surprised. But the purpose overall is to showcase life and businesses and products through photos, right? This is very photo driven, and promote events that you are doing to your existing community of followers. How to use it? Oh, let me count the ways. Okay. First, you're going to start with showcasing your products and services. Okay. If you're actually renting products or selling a specific product, whether it be food or linens or gifts for corporate events or lighting, whatever, this is your chance to show it. If you're a planner, then you show pictures from your events and you use the captions to explain why you do it differently or what your thought process was. Real-time sharing, right? Facebook couldn't buy Snapchat, so rather than reinvent the wheel, they stole the wheel and they created Instagram stories, okay? More and more brands started gravitating towards this simply because of the fact that it's already an inherent sharing ability within the platform you're already using, okay? People will spend hours going through and looking at these. The benefit also to using real-time stories is that if you're at an event or you have a very big day of events, you can showcase multiple photos within your Instagram without blowing up other people's feeds, which I will get to in a second, okay? This gets you to get more information out there. And again, with the use of video through stories, you can really get more information out to your audience on a single day. You can also utilize Instagram to drive traffic to targeted links, right? Instagram only lets you have one link in your bio, but programs like Linktree allow you to put multiple links within that single one. Okay, so this is a free service. I only endorse it from the fact that I think it's awesome and I use it. So you can go log in, create a simple account, and with one Linktree URL that you put in your Instagram profile, you can put a series of other links that you want to be able to send people to. So someone sees a photo and you send them to the link in your bio via the caption. They click that link, they get taken to a landing page that ties to that photo where they could potentially be filling out a form, they could be getting in touch with you. Therefore, someone who went from just looking at a photo becomes a lead. Quite frankly, Instagram is absolutely best for increasing brand awareness, right? You want to be able to get your name out there in front of a lot of people who spend a ton of time looking at pictures. Instagram is going to be the way to do it because of the hashtags, right? I'm going to get a little more into hashtags in a second, but this is a great way to get your name out in front of other people, right? So you're going to use hashtags in order to have people find you. The flip side is that you also want to go through and think about, of my target client, what are the hashtags they are using to explain themselves, okay? Such as newly engaged or I got engaged, right? If you're a wedding planner, these are hashtags you're going to want to look through. Scroll through all of the photos in that bucket and comment or like the ones that resonate with your brand, right? Which one shows a couple that looks like the type of couple you want to work with? When you start commenting on other people's things, you're able to bring those as to potential leads to you. Because whether they get a notification that pops up on the front of their phone or they keep it on the backside, when they log into their Instagram, they're going to see, oh, someone new just commented on my photo. Okay, wait, who is this company? They go check out your profile. You just got in front of one more potential client that didn't know about you before. And I just described how you source potential customers. Okay, so utilize those different hashtags, put yourself inside your client persona, right, which you should all have, knowing who is this person that I'm trying to target, and start looking through the hashtags they have. I would set a timer on your phone. You do this for 10 minutes a day. I guarantee you're going to see results, both in the number of people engaging with you, the number of profile views that you have, as well as the number of followers. Because you've been doing all of this awesome work, showing beautiful photos, having engaging content, and commenting and engaging with other people, you're going to create a tribe, right? Kind of hate to use that word, but you're creating a community of people who want to follow what you have to say, right? They're interested in that. Oops, sorry, everybody. So with that, you're going to be able to promote upcoming events that you have. Okay, you can insert those into your regular feed. You should not blow it up on your feed. You should not be showcasing absolutely everything. Okay, you want to make sure you don't give them a reason to unfollow you, but you focus on why it is utilizing that network that you have to promote an upcoming event. As I mentioned before, hashtags are your best friend. Use them. Okay, Instagram lets you have 30 hashtags on any photo. 30. Okay, take advantage of all 30. That being said, keep the first highest quality 2 for every photo at the bottom of the caption. Bury all of the rest of them. Okay, I have a blog on my website that will teach you how and why to hide your hashtags. And it will show you exactly how to create like those 9 dots and then put all the other hashtags either underneath the caption or in the first comment. My personal recommendation is to put it in the first comment. But you don't want to have hashtags interrupting the caption itself, okay? Because each one of those, therefore, gives that person a reason to walk away from your page and click on something else. You want them reading everything that you took the time to write on the bottom of that caption. There's a couple of different Instagram strategies that you can take, okay? This is not an event planner. She happens to be a fashion blogger, but it represents my next point. This one is pretty monochromatic. This is something that I think a lot of you will identify with if you have looked at other Instagram accounts, right? They all have a very consistent strategy here. There's pink running through every one of these photos, okay? There's also the blogger herself is in every single one of them, with the exception of the cute dog, but you know, we all love our dogs, okay? So you can create a page that is all a similar color palette, right? It does create a very pleasing eye when someone goes from one photo and looks at your entire profile. My Instagram account for DCM Communications is another example, right? If you have tips that you want to offer or you want to put custom quotes within there, I would suggest that you create a stylized pattern to those, okay? Every time you use a quote or a tip or an insight, it should always be in the exact same style and the same design. You can easily create these in canva.com, canva.com. You can do it on your computer. You can also do it on your phone for something really easy. But create one and then you just copy it and you create a new one every single time, okay? What you'll notice here is that you can set up any pattern that you want. Okay, originally towards the bottom of the screen, you'll see that I had 2 regular photos and then a quote. 2 regular photos and then a quote. Recently, I decided to change up that pattern and I'm making it every other one. Okay, I scrolled this down to show you kind of a different view between the 2. You can change up your pattern, right? You can do the exact same one and do photo, quote, photo, quote, photo, quote. You can also do it every 3rd one. You can do it every 6th one. Create a custom design that you like. Okay, and a great way to see what that design will look like before you actually start posting photos is to download another app that I absolutely love for social media, and it's called Preview. Okay, I know that this is in the Apple Store. I'm going to say I really hope that it's in those for Android as well. But what it does is it lets you import your most recent Instagram pictures, okay? Then you can upload all of the pictures you plan to put on and you can drag and drop and move them around. So you're basically creating a mock-up of what your page will actually look like, okay? If you like it, great. If you don't love it, you get a chance to move it around without risking posting something and then not liking it later and the back and forth with deleting and updating on your live page. The last Instagram strategy I'm going to show you here is one for an event itself. Okay, so this was an event that I handled all the social media promotions for Pike Productions. They did their Taiwan On event in August this past year, and we created a compilation image. Okay, so this is an example of a specific event marketing strategy. They had an event coming up. I took the invite, I broke it up into multiple pieces. I used Preview to create a mock-up of what the final result would be, so that I also put together each one of those 6 pieces of the invite in the correct order. Yes, it looks kind of strange when you're posting one photo at a time, okay? But at the same time, when you tell people in the caption, just wait till you see the full image or check out the full image on our profile, it comes together like this, and quite frankly, it looks awesome, okay? You can do this with an event invite. You can do it with, if you're a venue, you can do it to actually showcase an entire shot of your venue. Instead of using one photo, break that photo up into 6, okay? Then utilize that to create a compilation image, okay? This is just one example of a different strategy for promoting your event, but it creates a really cool break in the middle of your page, and people are usually pretty impressed with the results and tend to engage as they look forward to seeing the picture come together. So my top tips for Instagram are to only post 1 or 2 photos maximum per day. Okay, this is where it's important to take advantage of Instagram stories, right? Some people just have like that, posting trigger heavy finger, okay? You want to post everything that you see. I guarantee you, you will annoy your followers and they will stop following you or they will quit engaging. And if they quit engaging, your photos are going to fall further and further down in their news feed. Because remember, Instagram is like Facebook. You see things not in a timeline chronological order, but in one based on your engagement rates. And the last thing anybody wants to see is 7 photos in a row from the same person. Put the absolute best one on Instagram and put the rest in the stories. You can save the photos from your stories to your camera so that you can utilize them later, right? I'm not saying you can only put them in stories and never use them on your page, but you don't want to inundate people. I've worked on many campaigns where it was super successful to post 5 days a week on Instagram. There have been other accounts where we don't post any more than 3, right? It's a matter of what the right approach is based on who you are trying to target. So you need to know who your target clientele is and your target client personas so you can understand the best times of day and the best content to reach them. Take advantage of those stories for additional photos, okay? And again, use all 30 hashtags, right? Do the research. Those that have millions of posts and included in them, not going to be the most beneficial for you simply because you're going to fall further down in that bucket of hashtags than you would otherwise if you chose one that had maybe 10,000, right? Or 100,000 posts, okay? So when you're looking for hashtags to use, do focus on the ones that have anywhere in the tens to low hundreds of thousands of posts or less, okay? That means that when someone looks, your post is going to be higher up in the most recent or in the ones that are most liked for a longer period of time. Thanksgiving just happened. You put Happy Thanksgiving as a hashtag. It's not the end of the world by any means, but it's not going to get you the most results as maybe Thanksgiving tablescape, if that's what you took a picture of and you wanted to reach other event professionals who cared about that. Okay, LinkedIn. We know that LinkedIn is usually for professional networking, right? This is where you connect with former coworkers. It's where you connect with current coworkers. It's where most people go to look for jobs, okay? It's also where you have the opportunity to position yourself as a thought leader, okay? Blog posts that you've written that are going to help in a career development or showcase basically why you are awesome in every way, okay? The key with these, though, is to not be super salesy. LinkedIn is not the place to go and say, I have a sale every 5 minutes, right? Or I have a product that's coming up. What you want to do is make sure that you're providing content that is of value to someone else, not of value just to you. Yes, you can include promotions in there and you can include event marketing, right? If you're trying to reach a corporate audience, LinkedIn's a great way to do that. You can include that promotion as part of your content, but it should not be every single day. It should not be multiple times a week, Okay. What you really want to do is utilize this to show people they should listen to what you have to say because you're good at what you do, and engage with other people on there as well. So the ways to use that, right, is you want to use it to position yourself as an expert in your field. If you don't have a blog on your website, but you have something to say, you can write blogs within LinkedIn. It's a great thing. You can use their publisher tool, and then you can promote them directly from there. Okay, you don't have to have this whole new feature on your website. You don't have to update everything or start from scratch. You just need to make sure that what you have to say is of value and not just, I want to write something to write something. LinkedIn is also the platform to go to if you're looking to make more corporate client connections, okay? Because of the fact that those incorporations are going directly to LinkedIn on a daily basis. I have one client who checks his LinkedIn 3 or 4 times a day, right? And he is C-level for a software company. Yes, I have a few clients that are outside of the event space, but I have a background in software. So it just goes to show that they're paying attention to this to also look for new talent, right? If all of a sudden information from an event planner pops up in front of them, that right there is going to disrupt it, right? It's going to disrupt their normal news feed about entrepreneurial tips or the latest stock market prices or new home buying or whatever the case may be. Something in PR that's called disruptive programming, okay? And LinkedIn is a really great way to do that if you're trying to get more corporate clients. It's also a good way to research for a more refined client persona. Okay, so we talked about client personas a little bit here. You need to understand who it is that you're trying to target, right? What are the titles that they have? What are their professional relationships? What is their family life like, right? Because if there's somebody that goes home at 4 o'clock every day because they have a bunch of kids that are younger, they're probably jumping on their email later at night. Maybe you can then target your emails to go later or to go first thing in the morning, okay? If they don't have kids and they're younger, but they're really super driven, as a lot of millennials and the new startup kind of culture is, you could probably get them at ridiculous hours and smack dab in the middle of the day. Okay, but what you can do with LinkedIn is also listen to the LinkedIn groups and find out what are people talking about, right? It's the same thing with Facebook. You want to understand a little bit more about your target audience, ask to join a group where they are sitting. The worst thing that's going to happen is that they will tell you, no, you're not allowed. I have joined a lot of groups where I didn't fit the exact description of who it is that they were looking for because I wanted to figure out how to better service this community. Not a single group has told me, no, you can't come here. Big part of that, though, is also the ethical nature where you don't cross the line, right? You don't sit there and try to poach clients. You don't sit there and try to overly sell yourself or spam other people with information. Okay, but you can do a lot of research if you put the time into just listening, right? Again, 15, 20 minutes a day, scrolling through LinkedIn groups, checking out what other people in your news feed are talking about, liking it, commenting on it. That engagement is what's going to keep you top of mind to potential clients. My top tip with LinkedIn is this, though. Focus on your personal network over a business page. If you are Virgin America and you have over 1 million followers on your Instagram, on your LinkedIn page, then, oh boy, take advantage. You post whatever you want there because it's going to get you in front of it. But until you're Richard Branson or Mark Cuban, those are really not the best investments for your time because the algorithms in LinkedIn are different. You have already spent your entire career building connections, right? And connecting with other people and engaging with them, staying in touch with past coworkers before you went independent, or if you're not independent and you're with another company, with every past employer you've had, take advantage of what's already there, right? Why try to build a new structure and a new community from the ground up if you already have this really awesome, high rise that's been sitting there just waiting for you to talk to them more often, okay? If you focus on that, that's going to be a better use of your time. Twitter. Twitter is constantly changing, right? What are the biggest things? Tweet chats, right? People go to Twitter, they have discussions. It seems disjointed, it's kind of weird, it's kind of hard to follow them sometimes, but discussion is what's really there. News is another reason that people pay attention to Twitter. And they also go for the continuing education, right? That ties back to the thought leadership. They want to see what are the latest news articles in my field that I need to know about, okay? Best way to use it, Engage, engage, engage. Okay, Twitter's all about frequency, right? Because the conversations are happening on such a regular basis. This is a platform where if you're going to have a more structured schedule, you've got to be posting at least 5-6 times a day. Okay, and the last client I told that to just about choked on his lunch. Not my intention here, so I apologize if you're having a late lunch, but it really is all about the frequency. There are a lot of programs you can utilize for scheduling those. Okay, but the key is you don't want to just auto schedule everything, let it run, and never pay attention, because people will be able to tell, right? Just like those Instagram accounts and bots that go through and automatically like posts that have certain hashtags on them, people can see through it, right? You're smart, give all your followers that same credit that they're pretty smart. You can tell when you get spam, so make sure you engage. When you have those discussions, that's where you're going to see a difference with Twitter. There we go. Point 2, have a conversation. Quote somebody else's tweet and reply to it, right? Or reply and make sure to include what was already there. Don't just like it. Don't just retweet it. Say why you're retweeting it, right? Give both the one who created the tweet as well as your followers a reason to understand why you felt this was important. Otherwise, a retweet is simply saying, I thought this was important. Well, why? Draw that connection for your followers so that they get why it's important to them. Twitter is also an opportunity for you to share your thought leadership content, right? You've got blog posts or white papers or specific tip sheets or fun downloads that you've created with checklists or information. Take those and promote it across every social media platform that you're on, right? It doesn't always have to be a completely different post. They should be a little bit changed, tailored to the platform that you're working with, but you don't have to create original content for each one of them. You just have to space out the time that you're posting on each one. Okay, you don't necessarily want to post the exact same piece at the exact same time on everything, because you want to make sure that you're giving your followers a reason to follow you on every platform you're on, and not just one because they're going to get the exact same content. Okay, so my top tips for Twitter. As an event professional, you only need to do this because you love it, okay? This is not going to be the highest converting channel for you when it comes to clients, okay? If you love it, get involved. If you want more corporate business, having discussions with those potential corporate clients is a great way to do that. I do believe that LinkedIn is a better option for you, but if you're going to do Twitter, do it because you love it, which means you're going to be more passionate about it. And if that's really the case, it is all about the frequency, right? You have to stay on top of it and you have to remain engaged. When you fall away and you don't tweet or you don't engage with people for a few days to a couple of weeks, you will notice a drop in your followers as well as the engagement when you do come back to tweeting, okay? But if you stay consistently engaged, you will see consistent growth in your followers. Pinterest and Snapchat. I'm going to cover both of these together because of kind of where they fall, I think, in the priority scale. The purpose of Pinterest is how-tos, right? How do I make something? How do I cook? How do I create something for my kids' parties? How do I paint my house and what colors do I use? Okay, so people want to get design ideas and inspiration, as well as exact tutorials on how to fix their hair. Maybe that's just me, as well as how to cook, do other things. Okay, that's why they go to Pinterest. They go for that inspiration. Yes, people are also now moving over and going to be inspired on Instagram, but that doesn't mean that Pinterest has gone away. So this is particularly valuable though for wedding planners and wedding designers. You've got beautiful photography. You spend a lot of time designing. You put those photos on your Facebook, you put them on your website, pin them, okay? Pin them and add a custom copy to that pin. Okay, you have a certain amount of characters you can use. Add it on there so that when people are searching for sweetheart table ideas or head tables, right, or wedding centerpieces, they're going to see one of your photos. The second they click on that photo, it's going to take them to your website and they're going to get more information. Okay, so it's a great tool from an SEO perspective as far as driving traffic there. If you offer a specific service outside of really wedding planning or designing, it's not necessarily going to be the biggest platform for you because it's very, very visual. If you've got great visuals though, give it a shot. I would not prioritize it over Facebook or Instagram unless you fit into wedding planners and designers, in which case I would just keep it on level with those. Why do people use Snapchat? In case you're wondering, yes, people still use Snapchat. Number one, it's entertainment, right? I don't know about you. The first time that I actually downloaded it to use was because I was babysitting a 4-year-old and I needed to keep her entertained. It worked. Turn a 4-year-old into a puppy, everybody's laughing, okay? The way that businesses leverage Snapchat, though, is by geo-filters. Okay, so this is a way that you can create a custom design and set it up on your page, okay, or in a specific geographical area for a given time period. Prices can range anywhere from $5 to $35, depending how big that area is. And when someone takes a selfie, they swipe, after they take the selfie, they swipe to the right and they start to see the filters that pop up. So this gives them a chance to showcase what part of the city they're in, what event they're at, the date. I think there's one that's there for like the wind speed, the time of day. So the best way to use each of these, okay, for Pinterest, you want to drive traffic to your website content by sharing those beautiful photos with pins. And Snapchat, geo filters are the only thing you need to do. Okay, it's really easy to create a very simple design. Again, you can create custom designs within Canva, okay? You can upload it to the Snapchat website. You pay like $12 or so for the geo filter, and then that will come up as an option for people to basically post a frame or a specific image on their selfie when they're sharing snaps from within your geographical radius of your event. Downside is that you can't really track how many people are doing it. Upside, it's fun. So my rules for photos. Photos for Instagram have got to be amazing. If it's not amazing, stick it in an Instagram story. Okay, sometimes lighting is weird. Specifically on phones, capturing red lighting in an event can be very difficult, right? Everything can look washed out, or everybody just kind of looks like, you know, Cupid threw up on them, okay? That then may not be a picture to go on your main page. Put it in the story, okay? It still is a way for you to get it out there, but you realize it's not the most perfect picture. For Facebook, you want to create albums of your photography organized by the type, the topic, the product, the purpose, okay? Any one of those things. So you want to create one, for example, of wedding centerpieces. Pull all of the ones that you've done from 10 different weddings into a single album, right? Another one might be event branding. What are the different ways you've branded events in the past? What you want to do is think about, how is someone going to be searching for this? And I want to be the answer. So if they're looking for examples of meeting spaces, you could showcase an entire album of venues within Washington, D.C. that you have used to host meetings, okay? This is something else. Social media is being cataloged and searched. It can work to your benefit. Twitter. Photos don't have to be amazing. You just have to have something to say about it, right? It's because it's so fast, it's more granular, it's a little more raw. Just get it up there. And Pinterest, the most gorgeous pictures, like plain and simple professional pictures, or like the most awesome ones you've ever taken on your phone. If you can tell it was taken on a phone, I recommend you do not use it. So then the biggest question people have is, okay, we've gone through all of these social platforms, talked about what's the purpose and how it is you're supposed to use it, but which ones should you actually be focused on? Here's how you decide. What is your target audience? Again, we come back to that client persona. What are they using the most for fun? Because when they're winding down at the end of their day, or they're bored on a weekend, or they don't feel like, watching TV anymore, where are they turning to? You want to be there. You want to be there disrupting what they're naturally looking for. Also, where do they go the most for recommendations? This means they're actively looking to make a purchase or make a decision. You want to be where that is. And then once you test out a couple of different ones, right? For event professionals, I tend to recommend Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and LinkedIn for corporate, pretty much only wedding planners. You don't really need to pay attention as much to LinkedIn. Test them out and see which one is actually converting. You may be getting a lot of engagement when you're talking on Twitter, but are any of those people actually becoming clients or referring business to you? You might not get as much engagement on your Instagram, but if Instagram is bringing in leads, that's where you should refocus your efforts. Okay, you only should be focusing on the ones that are going to improve your business. Yes, it means you're going to have to test out a couple of these platforms, but it should be strategic tests based on an understanding of who you're trying to reach and the answers to these first two questions. And my final and most important tip, whenever it comes to social media, is this. You've got to be authentic and have fun. Okay, it's called social for a reason. It should be enjoyable. It should not be stressing you out every minute. If it is, hire somebody to take care of it for you who it doesn't stress out. You know, that's a really important thing, is that you need it to help build your business. You need it to help promote your events. It should not be the bane of your existence. But there are some people that it just doesn't click for you, right? Finding hashtags does not come naturally for you. To some of us, it really does, and it works, right? So find that person, get in touch with them. Yes, I mentioned I also do 15 of these currently. There are other people that love it. So you can focus on what it is that you want to do and make sure that you're as real as possible. Okay, with that, we are just a little bit over the time I was hitting for. You have questions, I am here to answer them. What did I not answer that you want to hear about?
Channing, thanks so much for that. Those helpful insights. There's obviously tons that we can discuss here, but we've gotten some great questions from our audience so far. So first off, is it possible to target Facebook ads to businesses rather than individuals?
You can target Facebook ads to those who like certain businesses. So for example, if I want to target BizBash, right? I want to get their attention. Chances are all of their employees, quote unquote, like the BizBash Facebook page. You can create audiences based on what it is that they like, whether it's a page, it's a person, it's an interest, okay? So you can choose and say, all right, well, everybody who likes BizBash, I now want to show up. I want my ad to show up for them. Everybody who likes a certain venue, I want my ad to show up for them. It is a very high probability that all of the employees there like their page because it helps with the engagement for them as well. So it increases your chances of getting in front of them.
And where do you go for inspiration or ideas when it comes to hashtags? It can be difficult to come up with 10, let alone 30 for one topic. For example, winter wedding, there are only so many hashtags one can come up with for that type of event.
Oh, I love talking about hashtags. So I'm so glad you brought this up. Okay. Every time you use hashtags, I'm assuming this also comes down to Instagram because that's where you're going to use the most of them. You should be using a combination of 3 types, okay? One that represents the type of content you are actually showing, right? So if you're talking about winter weddings, there's probably going to be white linens, or winter wonderland would be another one, or fall events, wedding ideas, okay? The next type that you should be doing are those that represent who you are and what you do. Okay, so you want to make sure if you are a wedding planner, right, which I'm kind of assuming is the case here. If you're a wedding planner, make sure you use different variations of who you are, because your clients are going to also be looking for wedding ideas, and maybe for white linens. They could also be looking for DC wedding planner, DC wedding planners, plural, okay? Always look at singular and plural versions of the words that you're using. If they only have a couple of hundred posts, you can ignore that, but you should be playing around with that. Okay, and then the third is, what is it that people also are, how do they identify themselves and what are they searching for, right? So you may be posting a picture about winter weddings, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you don't want to capture someone who is newly engaged or someone who's looking for a wedding venue. No, it's not a picture of a venue, it's a picture of a tabletop design, but why not put DC venue on there, or wedding venue? Because if I'm the newly engaged person, I may not care about a winter wedding, but I might be looking for a venue. A venue also means I need a planner. I could still discover you without necessarily having to like or be looking for that exact topic you're showcasing at the moment. So you include hashtags that represent the photo that's there, those that represent who you are and what it is that you actually do. And then the third is, what are other people searching for that represent what you do, but may not be in this exact photo. If you can get a breakdown between all three of those, you should pretty much be covered with 30. And if not, you give me a call, because that's where I have hopefully more answers. We can do a brainstorming.
Other than the obvious metric of conversions and followers, how can you tell if your strategy is working? How long do you have to work at it before you should expect to see results?
I think it depends on the platform that you're talking about first. But across the board, I put a much bigger weight on engagement rather than followers, okay? Yes, you want people to follow what you're doing because it means they've shown an interest in hearing from you more often. But there are a lot of passive followers, right, who don't like anything. My brother is a prime example of this. He follows my company once every 25 posts, maybe he likes something. Doesn't mean he's not watching, but it does mean that he's not really going to become a client because he doesn't feel propelled to engage with me. Those that engage with you have a higher probability of taking the next step, which is converting. They also are a metric for you to see. You see the same name popping up regularly as liking you and engaging with your posts. That's someone you could then specifically target with an email campaign, right? Because everything can be tracked. And so you can find out who's engaged with you multiple times on the past 5 campaigns you send out. Who is it that's engaged with you the past 10 photos, right? What are your highest frequencies for these? And you can retarget them with specific information, okay? So engagement is a really big key for that. And how long does it take? I think was the second part of that question. Organic growth takes time, right? You got to be patient with it. You do need to be consistent though, okay? When you see people who all of a sudden have maybe 10 posts on their page, but they've got thousands of followers, they bought the followers, okay? Those are not the types of accounts that you want because theirs is not going to convert for them and their analytics just went out the window because it's based on non-real followers, okay? You want real analytics that you can use. The key that you should be looking for when it comes to growth is a consistent growth week over week. So I would do a report, like create a spreadsheet, do a report analysis every single week at the exact same time, sit down and track where you stand with likes, where you stand with the followers you have on any platform, where you stand with the number of impressions, the reach, the engagement rates. Okay, all of those are available that are directly through Facebook. It's available with Instagram and with Twitter and with LinkedIn on the business pages at least. Although you can get a lot of those metrics for individual posts, they just don't come out in a very pretty form. It generally takes to see, like you can have some quick wins. It kind of varies by the type of platform you're using and the business. But if you're not seeing a change in your metrics within a month, then you need to tweak something in your strategy, might be broken. Okay, and you start evaluating one step at a time. Is it the content I'm posting? If they're liking it, it's not the content. Is it the hashtags I'm using? Well, if you're not getting more likes or more people starting to follow you, you might not be using the highest value hashtags, right? So it's worth re-looking at those. There's a lot of other ways to kind of go through. You got to diagnose things one step at a time so that you're not oversimplifying, okay? You got to do it all strategically first and then start to evaluate. If you're looking at your analytics though, you're taking a really big step in the right direction.
Great. And any thoughts about targeting nonprofit organizations as possible clients? It seems like they struggle with social media, so it can be hard to connect with them on these platforms.
So one of the biggest things that I've actually noticed from the nonprofits I've worked with, it's not that they struggle with social media so much as they have much, much tighter regulations on how they can use it, okay? So the way to reach them is twofold in my experience, particularly with DC nonprofits, is that you really want to look at LinkedIn because the employees can use it. Okay, so that's where knowing the titles of the people you want to target, aka development directors, you can really hone in on them because if they can't use it from a business perspective, they do use it from a personal one, right? They can't always promote their events as much, but doesn't mean there's not a way around that. So if this is coming from someone who is a nonprofit organization, right, and you want to be able to get more information out about your event, I would say partner with local media. If you can, reach out to them. Partner with other influencers, okay? It's kind of a crappy word, unfortunately, these days, but people that have a very big following and an engaged following may be able to have the leeway to do posts and promotions that you, as the nonprofit, can't.
Great. And I think we have time for one last question, and that's, should you use the Instagram business page or personal page feature?
It depends on what the business is. If you have a Facebook page for your business, I 100% recommend having, if you have a business Instagram, right, separate from your personal, it represents just your business, then I absolutely think it should be a business profile. Because one of the biggest things you get from that is analytics, right? Otherwise, you're kind of taking a shot in the dark as to the times that you should be engaged, the demographic of your followers, the geography of where they're located. There's a lot of insights that come with having it as a business page, and it connects to your Facebook too. So when you decide to do Facebook ads, you can pay one flat fee and get ads across both platforms that can all be designed within Facebook. It's a huge benefit. If you want to promote yourself more from a thought leadership perspective, yes, you can use your personal Instagram to do that. You just need to make sure it is cleaned up, it is public, and it very much represents your brand as to who you are and has the same quality of photos that you would put on a business page.
Great. I think we've got most, if not all of them. I'm sorry to those that we didn't get a chance to answer questions for. Channing, I want to thank you so much for sharing your tips with us today. I know I got a lot out of the materials, and I hope others did too. So I'll turn it over to you for any parting thoughts.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I really hope that you did learn a lot from this. I could talk about social media for days. I actually have some clients I talk about it every single week for months on end. So there is a lot of ways to address this. If you liked what you had to hear here, but you want to know more about how to utilize social media for marketing, how to improve your marketing for your business overall, as well as some new event planning techniques, I would highly suggest that you come to this event that I am hosting in Washington, D.C., starting in just over a week and a half. The B2E Launchpad is specifically targeted for those who are either just getting into the business or looking to scale their business, okay? This day-and-a-half long workshop, it's Monday and half a day on Tuesday. We have a kickoff party on Sunday the 10th, which I'm very excited about, which will be at Squash on Fire on West End. But the actual event itself, we had people at the South Florida version that were just starting out in the business, and we had a couple of companies that had been there for more than 20 years and wanted to scale to that next level of revenue. There is information everybody can walk away with, and you're going to get one-on-one consulting time with me and with my event planner partner, Gladys Mizrahi of Indigo Events in South Florida, without any additional fee. Right? Okay, this ticket is only $250. You've got 4 meals included, including plus the happy hour on Sunday the 10th. And I'm super excited to announce that we have featured speaker Andre Wells is going to be coming to talk at the end of day one about designing really gorgeous events and kind of his approach to design. So we'd love for you to go and check out the link to the website and actually purchase your ticket. We do have a limited number of them left. We keep these events small so that they are both collaborative and everybody gets the one-on-one attention that they want. If you are an ILEA DC member, you are going to be getting a discount code emailed to you. If you are not, get in touch about getting a discount code and you can join. I would love for you to follow us on Instagram and on Facebook, see what we're doing, as well as staying connected with me. I will be on Instagram and Facebook as DCM Communications, and ILEA DC is also on both of those same platforms. And then I do personally tweet simply because I love it. And ILEA DC does as well. So I'd love for you to check out the website, stay connected on social. It's about having that conversation. I reply to every comment that is made on any one of those platforms. So I really hope to hear more from you.
Thanks again. And as Channing mentioned, ILEA members who participated today will receive their discount code shortly. We'll also be circulating a video of this presentation and a PDF of the slides to our whole DC membership. So keep an eye on your inbox if you weren't taking notes fast enough today. If you're not a member, please do visit us at ILEADC.org and consider becoming one today. And we hope to see you at our next event. Thanks again, Channing, and thanks so much for all our attendees today.